Let's talk some fucking Dave. Let's talk some Mean Gene. I woke
Dude,
up. I woke up to a notification, and I was just like, "Fuck." I mean, he was getting up there in age. He was 76,
76.
but he looked 7,600. That's how old fucking Mean Gene looked.
Yeah.
So, was he sick? Does anyone know anything about it? Or is
No.
he just
Uh,
Not a
old?
clue.
Nothing's been released about that yet. I think it was just old, but like obviously, anytime we've seen him, he was looking up there, but I haven't heard ever of any health problems. So maybe it was something like brought on it that escalated really quickly. But yeah, no, I woke up before I went to work, before I got into the shower, and you posted in the group chat, Mean Gene passed away, and if I'm not mistaken, my first response was 2019. What have you done to us? But no, it's terrible. But when it comes to deaths in the wrestling community, it's always amazing to see all like the outpouring of like condolences and all that from across the wrestling world, regardless of what promotion you're in. Mean Gene obviously was a well liked individual, and really like I don't think we'll ever see someone else as good as Mean Gene Okerlund.
Do you remember? Well, which is around the same time a couple of years ago, almost 5 years ago now. But Stuart Scott passed away, and Stuart Scott was like a
Mm-hmm.
revolutionary broadcaster for ESPN, especially being a broadcaster of color and his style that he used on air.
And his glass
Um,
eye.
well, that was later on at the end of his career. But Mean Gene is kind of that revolutionary broadcaster announcer. There was no one like Mean Gene ever in wrestling to do the things he did, to have the wit that he did, to handle all the superstars that he did. Think about the 80s in wrestling, which is known as, like that golden era of wrestling, with Rock in the Rock and Wrestling Connection, WWF. There was no person hotter than Mean Gene. If you got an interview by Mean Gene, you were probably a really important person in wrestling. He helped make Hulk Hogan. Well, you know what, Mean Gene? Like that was Hulk
Let me tell
Hogan.
you something, Mean Gene, brother.
Exactly. I mean, Mean Gene was probably one of the first non-wrestling entities to get himself over by just being
You,
himself.
you know what he did? He made a job a character.
Yeah.
He took the job of just interviewing the wrestlers and he made it a character. It's just like, fuck, we can
Dude,
find a personality to do this. And he did it literally better than anyone. Like, I'm telling you, if I was alive in the 90s, I probably would have called 1-800-909-9900.
Just to hear
And
his
with,
oh,
voice.
no,
absolutely.
just to get this for the hotline. Just fuck my
Yeah.
parents' permission. Just because I want to talk to
But
fucking DDP.
yeah, but yeah, no, you said it best. Like he took his style of interviewing and announcing and just being on the mic. And a lot of wrestlers pointed it out today. Like, it's one thing for a wrestling character to get over, but it's another thing for a non wrestling entity, a non wrestling individual to get over. And Mean Gene did just that. Just the way he spoke, like, you,
There's times he didn't give a fuck too, and you could tell
no,
it
That's
was
so
fucking
true.
amazing. Yo,
so,
watch his WCW days. Sometimes he's just like, I'm on cruise control. Like, yo, when he's at the I think my favorite Mean Gene moment is when they do the Nitro parties and he goes to the fucking frat houses with the Nitro girls for the Nitro parties. This is college guy gets in his face like, get away from me, Buster. It was
no,
fucking
but I
absurd.
mean, even something as recent as when he was on Legends House, and then after
Yeah.
the season finished, he put out a video like apologizing, saying everything was all in good fun, and if you didn't like it, go fuck yourself. Like,
Yeah.
and he'll be truly missed. Like, I know come Monday when they do like the in memory of Mean Gene Okerlund graphic with everyone will most likely be on the stage. I'm gonna have the feels like all
Oh, the video
day.
package. I can't wait.
Yeah, all
Oh, the
day
video
today.
package is going to be great.
Yeah, all day today at work. In between busy times, I was like watching Mean Gene videos because like, but I would say by 2, 3 o'clock, there were already like mad like unofficial video packages and stuff. But you know, it's unfortunate. But rest in peace, Mean Gene.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy. His last on-air interview was with AJ Styles at Raw 25.
that is a great. That's a
When
great
AJ
way to end.
Styles like, let me tell you something, Mean Gene. I just always wanted to say
Yeah, I
that.
watched it. I watched it again today. Originally, it was Charlie Caruso that was going to interview Styles, and Styles was like, I brought somebody special
Hmm.
for this. It's like, no offense to you, but I want this guy to do my interview. And I think that's the first time Oakland and AJ Styles had ever did anything.
That might have been the first time I ever met,
Yeah,
like, professionally. I'm sure like AJ could have went to a signing or something, like in whatever. But
very
still,
true.
that's crazy, man. If there's the one last person you could ever interview, AJ Styles might be on that list.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. And I really hope that they start doing more interviews from the infamous Okerlund position. The last time they did it was with Kevin Owens, because that was supposed to be when Braun was supposed to attack him. But it's a
Oh, he did it on the ramp.
on the yeah, well, yeah, they call it like they had gorilla position named after Gorilla Monsoon. I feel like they should do an Okerlund position for like interviews. I like the way it's viewed on TV for those on-air interviews.
Yeah, dude, you
Oh
want to see
my
you
god.
see one of the most savage Mean Gene promos ever? It's I think it's February '98 when Dean Malenko like is fighting Jericho and he loses and he quits and
Yeah.
he comes back later. But Mean Gene is just fucking roasts him. He's just like, "You let everyone down. What are you gonna do, you faggot?" Like you might as well call him you it's like you suck, you're fired. And he just goes, "I'm going home." That was in actually that was in the ring, but still, yo, Mean Gene, savage moments. I'm telling you, just go back and watch it in the archives.